Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having a Gemini sun and a Leo ascendant in a natal chart. Now, these qualities are compatible by sign. They're both masculine signs, so they're both obviously extroverted. And this combination of having a loquacious and talkative Gemini sun and a rather magnanimous, flamboyant Leo ascendant, I think it would be safe to say that the qualities of Gemini, the whimsical and whether the versatile and that talkative side of Gemini, can come out in a very magnanimous and flamboyant way with Leo. The sun sign in our chart is about our basic wants, and the ascendant or rising sign could be, it actually is the method or manner in which one attains these wants. So we look at this, and the Gemini sun, their basic wants can be connected with communication goals, just communication in general, versatility, having variety, mental stimulation, good conversation, and having a Leo ascendant. Well, these basic wants of the Gemini, the communication, this could be brought out in that very magnanimous manner, in a very dramatic and flamboyant way. I think a very good example of this, I think a person who epitomizes these qualities is none other than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a sun in Gemini with a Leo ascendant, and he has the gift for gab, and he is not afraid to let anyone know his viewpoints, obviously, and his perspectives on things. And this Gemini garrulousness comes out in very dramatic and flamboyant Leo fashion, and he will state his viewpoints, though to some may be perceived as opinionated. He will state them, and he basically is very fearless in this matter. And having a moon in Sagittarius probably adds to this as well, I would say, as far as the blunt and outspoken nature of him. Now, this can be the kind of person that combines, incorporates the Gemini, the whimsical, capricious side, can come out in a Leo-like manner and combine with the dramatic ability of Leo. This could be somebody that does goes on stage and performs stand-up comedy, makes a lot. It can be very flippant, but at the same time be very entertaining. And this person can incorporate these qualities very well. Now, when I look at this, this is a person. Now, you have to look at the aspects are important in a chart. And in many cases, if the person will have a sextile aspect with the sun in Gemini and Leo ascendant, for example. Let's say somebody has the sun in Gemini at 24 degrees and Leo ascendant at 26 degrees. This would make a sextile aspect, and it's auspicious and positive, and these qualities would blend in very well with each other, and they're compatible by sign, but it would also help to have this aspect. Now, in some cases, you can have an out of sign square aspect. For example, let's say somebody has the sun in Gemini at 1 degree, and they have a Leo ascendant at 29 degrees. This would make an out of sign square aspect. And even though the energies are still compatible by sign, they are the aspect could add a little tension and exasperation to the person, and they might feel maybe somewhat misconstrued or misunderstood by others, because even if they're not cognizant of astrology, they may see that maybe that outward demeanor, what they're projecting, could be strongly different than what is inside, at least in how they perceive things. Now, the same could be true for a semi-square, but a semi-square aspect is going to be a little bit, it's not going to be as adverse as a square. It's going to be a little bit lighter, but it's still could be, it's still adverse. Now, a semi-square aspect, for example, let's say somebody has the sun in Gemini at 29 degrees and they have a Leo ascendant at 15 degrees. And this would be slightly adverse, and it would be similar to what I described for the square, but only modified and a little bit lighter. Now, a semi-sextile aspect can take place as well. Now, let's say somebody has a Gemini sun at 29 degrees and they have a Leo ascendant at 0 degrees. Well, this would be similar to the sextile aspect. It would be auspicious, but it's more slightly positive. It doesn't have the intensity as the major aspect, the sextile. And you would have a good positive blending of these energies and integration of them, of course. Now, a lot can depend on, too, where the sun in Gemini is posited in the natal chart. Now, granted, the person will undoubtedly project more Leo attributes outwardly because the ascendant is dominant in terms of the outer projection and the outer demeanor. However, the Gemini sun can still come out at least quietly, depending on the house placement. On the house placement it's in, it will shine. It could shine very well in that area, and even if it's in a quiet manner. Now, if the sun, in many cases, the sun would be in the 12th house, and if the sun is in the 12th house, this could actually diminish the Gemini sun attributes somewhat because the 12th house is a cadent house, and it's also the energies can be weakened in these in these mutable houses, and the 12th house is also, as we know, the house of restriction and limitation. So you might see this person, the Gemini qualities can come out strongly in matters of seclusion and solitude, and may come out even in spirituality if this person is spiritual. Now, in some cases, the person will have their Gemini sun in the 11th house, and in this case, Gemini sun can come out strongly in matters connected with friendships, humanitarianism, groups, organizations, and if it's in the 10th house, the person might exhibit these Gemini characteristics through matters connected with their career and their public image, in matters connected with authority. This is where you might see that voluble Gemini come out strong in this particular area of life. Now, in some cases, a person may have, if they have a Leo ascendant, they might have the sun in Gemini in the 9th house, because it is possible, since you could have a Gemini MC in a Leo ascendant, and you could have your sun position before the Gemini MC, which would put the sun in Gemini in the 9th house. Now, in those cases, the Gemini qualities may come out. This versatility, need for variety, may come out through abstract thinking, maybe through college, higher education, through their philosophical outlook, and even in in-laws if the person has them. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having a Gemini sun in a Leo ascendant in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having a Gemini sun in Leo ascendant in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.